Welcome to Red Castle Team. I am Andrew, and if you're looking for authenticity, you're going to find it here, and that means you get to see all my mistakes, including this one. In case you're all wondering, I'm fine, just got in a fight with a tree while riding a lawnmower. The tree won. We're just gonna call it a draw at this point. So, now, I figured this is an opportunity to show you how I at least treat myself with, I guess, plant medicine. Basically, I'm not a doctor. I might be combat lifesavers ACLS certified through the Army for about 8 years, but I'm still not qualified to give you advice. So I'm going to show you how I treat myself. What you do with that information, I don't really care. But I'll show you, basically I'm going to show you some real quick tips. If anybody knows what this guy is, Comfrey. This is a Bocking 14 variety, and this right here is Plantago Major. Plantain, broadleaf plantain specifically. They grow wild here. Well, this was introduced, but it grows wild here now. And I'm going to show you a quick little I'm not sure what the name for it is. I basically chopped the stuff up and macerated it a little bit, and well, you apply it to the wound and it helps it heal. I mean, this one is basically just a nice abrasion, little bruise, slight black eye. That's a pretty deep cut. Any deeper I probably would have needed some stitches, but we'll show you some progress over the course of healing. This has been about 24 hours since I did it, so it's had time to dry, and I've cleaned it, and now we're gonna apply this. So, basically, small container is what you need, scissors, your plant material, big spoon, little spoon. Make all the jokes you like, I've already thought of them. And then, a couple of Band-Aids to hold everything in place. Now, you can make a tincture, salve, whatever. This is just, again, I don't know what it's called. It's just chopped up plant material. Right, chop it up. We'll edit this out later. Editor, edit this out later. Basically just chop it up. Now, one of the things I'm probably going to do with this is melt a little bit of coconut oil and pour it in here when I'm done with all this, so that it absorbs it and it infuses into the oil. I'm not going to just apply the oil directly. So pour a little into the spoon. Well, let's just pour it all out. That's more than enough, and it'll probably last me for the course of this injury. Now, you can do this with a mortar and pestle. I have a mortar and pestle, but I know not everybody does, so I figured I'd show the improvised method. Just squish it. Push it together, and you'll hear it crunch, and you just work it back and forth. And you're just trying to squish the plant and open up and release the juices and enzymes that are in the plant. Now, Comfrey is well known for being, I think its native name is bone knit or something to that effect. I've just used it and plantain both for many years. Bee stings, small cuts and abrasions, which I'm having problems with right now. And you're just looking to bruise the plant material, kind of like that. It just looks a little bruised. That's good for that one. I'll do 2 of them here. And Plantago Major, broadleaf plantain is, we have both varieties on the farm here. Plantago Minor, which is a tonic plantain or narrowleaf plantain. But broadleaf plantain is the more common one, and I use that one a lot, and it works in a similar way to Comfrey. Basically, it helps skin healing and whatnot, and from what I've given to understand, I've never used it on a deep open wound. You're not supposed to, because it will actually close the wound around debris, because the skin heals so fast. Or it causes the skin to heal so fast, you can actually cause an internal infection, which will abscess. You'll have to have it drained by a professional, or do it yourself if you're adventurous and dumb enough to try it. Yep, basically just mash it all up. Yep, that's what you're looking to do, and we'll show you how to apply it. Oh yeah, that looks pretty. On the plus side, you know, ladies dig scars, so whatever. It's well placed. At least I didn't lose an eye. It broke my glasses though, and it did pretty much feel like I'd been punched. Band-Aid, little ones. Now, I do have a screen set up here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Basically, tiny little Band-Aid. Pack a little bit of this right in there. At least I do. Again, not giving medical advice. Don't sue me. And I apply it right there, right over the wound. I know it worked because it hurts. Ow. I think I got away pretty lucky. Minor black eye. Didn't have to stitch myself up this time, and yes, I've done it before. I have a suture kit, and it's always good to have one of those on hand. It's a fun benefit of being military trained. Let's see here. Alright, right over the top of that one. Now it's rather near the evening now. Oh yeah, that's a good look. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look like a cast member for Fight Club. That's what I'm going to tell everybody at work, as I started a Fight Club. Or I got mugged and I kept my wallet kind of thing, yeah. Now I gotta come up with a better story than that. Let's see here. That'll do. Yeah, still got enough left for a couple days worth. Seal it up. There you go. Alright, well, y'all get some bonus material because I did have another video in mind. So we're gonna do that right now as well. Now, for some reason, these package opening videos are popular. I don't know why. But this one actually at least has some decent material because I know what I ordered. This wasn't some random thing that was just gifted to me. Oh no, I paid for it. So let's see, this is from Restoration Seeds. I think based out of Oregon. Yes, they're based out of Oregon. Probably why it took so long to get here. Alright. Now what I have ordered, and I order from them a lot, so I'll give them free advertising. Good shout out. Holy crap. Yeah, we just tore that all apart. Hopefully I didn't lose any seeds. But yeah, I've ordered from them before, so I know their stuff is good. Packing list, everything looks good. Alright. False Indigo. There's two plants that go by the name False Indigo. This is not the Australialis version. This is Amorpha fruticosa. This is the one that gets about 10 to 20 feet tall if you let it. It's a legume, so nitrogen fixer. Let's see. Oh, I have to stratify and scarify these ones. Now, for scarifying, in case you don't know, that's basically you have to abrade the outside of the seed coat in order to allow it to absorb enough moisture to trigger its germination. I just use like 220 grit sandpaper. Just hold the seed, just basically enough that you can see that the seed coat has been broken. A little bit of white or green will be visible. And then you soak, plant, and I think these got to be stratified. Soil temp. I'm not sure what this one takes for stratifying. First time growing False Indigo, but I do have Siberian pea shrub, which is a relative. And that one, not too terrible. I didn't have the greatest germination rate. I think I needed to scarify a little more. Goji berry. I already have one of these as a shrub, but I figure it's good to start some seed for some genetic diversity because I like to get a lot of my plants from two different sources. And that way, if I'm going to be cloning and doing cuttings off a lot of the plants, I don't just have one specimen dominant on the entire property, because if some particular pathogen comes along that particular genotype might be allergic or might be vulnerable to, wipes them all out. So diversity is a good thing. Woo. Ice plant. Supposedly this thing has like a lot of saponins in it. I believe it's edible, but it's also, oh yeah, no, scarifying. Yeah. It also can be used as a soap replacement, or it can cause frothing within soap. So I might add it to some of my soaps, and yes, I make soap. Lovage. Basically, I just call this one perennial celery because it's like a perennial cross between celery and parsley. It is in the same family, same little, I forget what the tooth leaf pattern that celery and parsley both have. But this will form a shrub, and I don't care for stalk celery anyway. Actually, smell it. It has a celery-like smell. It's very strange. I like that. But if I can establish it on the property, it will pretty much replace both celery and parsley in my diet because I'll just use it. It's a simplified way. Welsh onions. We'll see how these do. They're a perennial self-budding onion. I believe these are the red variety. Yes, they are. Now, I already have some perennial onions, but again, variety. The perennial onions I have are the Egyptian walking onions, and I'm sure we're going to talk about those later. Now, the last two here. Aha. Good King Henry. Now this one is also known as a perennial spinach. And Turkish rocket, also known as a perennial broccoli. Now, without any of the problems of either. I actually have 2 specimens right here. Let me go get them. Alright. There we go. That is a perennial broccoli. Now, I think it's also called poor man's asparagus. These new shoots you can take as asparagus. The entire plant is edible. I believe at a certain stage these get really bitter, but you can eat the florets just like broccoli. You can eat these. I intend to make some sauerkraut out of them because I don't believe this is a brassica, or it's a close relative but not quite in the same genus. But any brassica I know you can make sauerkraut out of. I've done it with Brussels sprouts. So we're gonna try it. Good King Henry. Now this is just a baby version, and these triangular leaves get pretty big, like 8 inches approximately. And these ones will self-bud, like root budding and self-divide, self-replicate that way. Now one of the reasons I like both of these is because they form a very dense rhizome mat. So these are both going to be planted extensively, hence the seeds. I need more than 2 plants. They're both going to be extended extensively along the border between the lawn and my garden. That way I'm getting crabgrass. The crabgrass is the only real weed I deal with in the wood chip garden, because it loves to spread rhizomatically. It pretty much tunnels right through the wood chips because they're nice and soft. Easier to take out, but it's also easier to grow in, so it's a pain. These will form a rhizomatic barrier. It's basically it's a wall, and they can't get through it near as easily. All right, and that is it for this one, guys, and I will catch you later. Thanks for checking out Red Castle. All right, guys, I figured I'd give you the 7-day update since I injured myself, and as you can tell, it's doing pretty good. This one might scar a little bit, but this one, it's just pink for now. And in case you were wondering how I was still applying the comfrey and plantain, well, I stopped using the actual plant matter, so no big band-aids on my face, and I started using this. Looks gross, I know, but it pretty much has 3, sometimes 4 ingredients. It is coconut oil as a base. I chopped a bunch of plantain and comfrey and put it in a crock pot, just a small one, on the warm setting, because even on low setting it gets too hot and it boils, which heat can sometimes damage the plant material they're trying to extract, but I'm not sure what it's called, but basically the oil helps extract the stuff. Once it's sat for about a day and that warm temperature kind of simmering just a little bit, I filter it out with a typical colander, just the screen sieve kind of deal, and put it in here. If it doesn't set up quite right, which it probably should, given if you're using high quality coconut oil, then I just put in a little bit of beeswax to help, a very little bit, to help it set up. Then you just melt it in your hands, rub it on a wound. Works great. Now this is what I do. I'm not telling you to do it, because obviously not a doctor, but it certainly works for me in my individual case. Just so you know, if you have comfrey and or plantain, it has some uses like this. So, all right. Well, there's your update for my stupid mistake, basically. Now, if you're interested at all in how I make, need a better jar, how I make this salve, I guess it's salve, ointment, whatever you want to call it. If you want to know more about how I make it, let me know in the comments below and I'll end up doing a video for it.